Hi again, welcome to another session where we just look at a book and get one idea from the book that might help us in this time that we're in. I remember many years ago when I was in high school, there was this guy, let's call him Mahlajana for now. And Mahlajana used to sit at the back of the class and disrupt the class with the other guys. You know, they would talk whilst the teacher is trying to teach, they would disrupt the class, they would take people's calculators, they would do all sorts of things to try and have fun and disrupt the class. But the interesting about Mahlajana is that he did well. And I remember one day the teacher spoke to Mahlajana, the teacher approached, I think it was a science teacher who went and spoke to Mahlajana, and she said, I don't like how you operate. And the reason I don't like how you operate is that you do well when it comes to tests, exams, and assignments, but the people you sit with don't do well. You sit here during class and you disrupt the class, you disrupt me, and you get up to trouble and you pull all these shenanigans, but you do well. So it means when you get home, you study and you don't tell your friends that you study. And I don't like how you operate. You need to change that. And this kind of reminds me of what we are doing now. If you go on social media, you find that there's a lot of negativity that's being pushed. A lot of people are talking about negativity because I suppose that's what sells, that is what's funny, that is what's entertaining. But so that's what we sit spending our time focusing on what is negative. It's almost as if people show us, like magicians, look here, talking about the negative. Whilst we are looking here, they do something different with their right hand, which is they talk about negativity, but in their private spaces, they are working, preparing business proposals, they are repairing their relationships, they are improving themselves, they are positioning themselves for a time after COVID-19. And so, which, just like Mahlajana, people focus on the negative whilst they do something in the background. And I thought, to bring something positive. So I thought then to talk about this book. It's called The Slight Edge Philosophy. I read this book a couple of years ago and it has changed my life and added some value to my life, and I thought it would be wonderful to look at some of the ideas that are helpful in the book. And generally, the slight edge has to do with the idea that life changes when we are consistent, when we pick goals and just work on them slowly. That you might promise yourself to do something, and if you don't do it, nothing will happen. I mean, no crisis will ensue from you just saying, I'll exercise tomorrow. And if you don't exercise, hey, nothing happens. But what we miss is that you miss one day, then the next, and it's the cumulative days that will come and trouble us at the end. Or you might then have weight issues, or you might then develop negatively because you just missed simple things, you were not consistent. And the opposite happens if you have a simple goal and just every day you work on the goal, and after a couple of months, after a couple of years, simple actions add up to great results. And Jeff Olson has really done a wonderful job here, I think. He has built several multi-million-dollar sales and marketing organizations, hosted seminars, trained a lot of people to master themselves and to focus on their goals. So he has also produced over 900 television programs. So he wrote this book, came up with some suggestions, some ideas that might help all of us to just tease out the compound activities, the small activities that add up to big results. And so he shares 7 ideas that I'd like to also share with you. So number 1, Jeff Olson in the slide 8 says, we have to be people who show up. So be willing to show up all the time. And the interesting thing about life is that many people have a lot of dreams. They have 1,000 dreams, but they're not willing to show up. They're just willing to listen to themselves, their feelings. If they're feeling tired, they're not willing to show up. They get easily discouraged by themselves and by other people. So if you want to make a difference in your life, one of the things that will revolutionize life and results is that 1, you show up, and 2, in the slight edge, what Jeff Olson says is that 1 has to be consistent. If you're consistent, then you get results. Many things actually take consistency. To walk 1,000 kilometers, you'd have to just take one step and another step and another step, and they all add up. And it's something that we seem to miss, that consistency is better than just, I'm going to just be crazy and do all this. For example, at the beginning of the year, a lot of people have these New Year's resolutions. They say that, I want to exercise. So perhaps in January, they go to gym for the first month. And then February, nothing. They sit there and they've given up on their dreams. And part of it is that one chose a big goal and was not consistent. It would be far effective if a person said, once a week I'll exercise. That means one will probably exercise 52 times a year, which is better than somebody who went to gym 30 days in the first month of the year. So be consistent, show up and be consistent. The third thing is that if you have a good attitude, it helps you meet your goals, it helps you achieve. Life is a great occasion, and sometimes we are misled by, I suppose, ourselves, our society, that a lot of negativity, a lot of things are driven by negativity, and a lot of negative energy will rob our dreams. And so if you have a good attitude, people like doing business with you. If you have a good attitude, you take even setbacks as part of the process, so you don't struggle with disappointments or setback, because you have a great attitude. You think, maybe if this thing went wrong, maybe there's an opportunity for something else. So have a great attitude, a good attitude. So show up, be consistent, have a good attitude. And the fourth thing that Jeff Olson suggests in the Slight Edge is that a person has to have desire, and a person has to have faith and a belief in that the thing that they desire, they will pursue. You cannot have what you don't desire. It cannot happen passively. So you have to desire something, a different state of being, and part of that has to do with hope. So because when we desire things, then it moves us to take actions and to not give up. But when you don't have desire for anything, it's very difficult to finish anything or to succeed at the goals that you have set for yourself. So desire is very important. In fact, if you want to cripple somebody's dreams, remove from them desire. And so we have to have desire for a different way of doing things, for meeting people we want to meet, for going to places we want to go. So we have to have desire. The fifth thing Jeff Olson suggests in the Slight Edge is that we have to plant, cultivate, and harvest. And because we live in this materialistic society where we want instant things, we want to instantly be gratified, we forget that any meaningful thing takes time. You cannot have any meaningful thing without having to plant it, without having to take care of it, and you'll then have the opportunity to harvest it. Anything that comes easy, as the saying goes, easy come, easy go. So if you want something meaningful in your life, know that you have to plant it, you have to do the labor, you have to be willing to do the work to get that thing. You have to be able to nurture it. So stick with the process, trust the process, start and finish. Don't start and quit, start and finish, and then if you can plant, cultivate at the end, you'll be able to harvest. And the other thing which is related to the fifth thing is be willing to pay the price. A lot of people have dreams, but they are not willing to do what it takes to get where you need to go. If you want anything in life, there's a price to pay. So if you want something, ask yourself, but what am I willing to do? I have to be willing to sacrifice certain things, sacrifice say time. One has to be disciplined, one has to be focused, one has to ignore noise, one has to sacrifice their phones. Sometimes you have to friends, sometimes you have to sacrifice sleep, sometimes you have to deny yourself things to have a bigger goal. You have to say no to today so that tomorrow can be better. And so in this society where we pursue being happy right now, our futures are going to suffer. So if you want to meet your goals, then part of what you might want to do is be willing to pay the price. And the other thing is, the seventh thing that might help us is to be people of integrity. You know, we live in a world where you don't know who to trust. You cannot trust the minister, you cannot trust the pastor, you cannot trust the police officer, you cannot trust your spouse, you cannot trust your child. We live in a world where human beings have lost themselves, and as much as you have those who are the opposite. So not everybody is like that, but we feel better when we can trust people. So if we want to be people who make way, who meet our targets, and our targets can be a simple thing or a lofty thing, but if you are a person of integrity, then people want to work with you, people want to give you business, people want to relate with you, people want you in their lives. So I thought, to talk about those ideas in the slight age philosophy, in that small actions add up to great results. So don't diss yourself, don't despise small beginnings, be consistent. So the points are: show up, be consistent, have a good attitude, have desire, plant, cultivate so that you can harvest, be willing to pay the price, and lastly, have great integrity. And if you can exercise those in this time, you stand a better chance of having a different experience after this whole situation that we're in. So happy reading. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the book, what you think of the video, if you have any suggestions. So until next time, peace.